let's see. I'm hoping, give me some comments. Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. I need to get some feedback on hopefully everything is running all smoothly right now and I'm live. Is everything going okay? Ooh, can't tell. Are we working? Let's see. Ooh, it's all, I'm using a new system today, so things seem a little more choppy and difficult than usual. So I'm just adjusting to the new system. So if there seems to be any problems, definitely let me know, because I'm interested to know. But yeah, give me your comments, say hello. Let's see. Is everything coming along okay? I think we're having a bit of technical difficulties at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what's happening. Let's see. Sorry about this. Always technical glitches when you first try and use something new. Let's see. Okay, so everything seems okay here, and is all okay in YouTube as well, because I'm currently on YouTube. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, so for the first time we're ever doing that. So I'm hoping that we can get everything to run nice and smoothly and work properly. But let's see what is going. But yeah, if anyone's watching on YouTube, send me a comment saying if anything's working or not, because I'd love to know if that's happening at the minute too. So here we go. Anyway, so I guess, well, even if it's not, I might as well press on. So yeah, today I'm going to be showing you how to make these lovely chenille stitch bracelets just here. So everything is in, wait a minute, if you haven't got the pattern, ooh, let's hope I can get that into focus there. So that's a lovely chenille stitch bracelet. Oh, it's trying to focus on me, wait. There we go. So we're going to use chenille stitch to make these beautiful bracelets that are made with our sparkling microcrystal seed beads. So you can see they're ultra sparkly and shiny when they're when you're using them. They're these just here. So there we go. So these are what the showpiece of the day today. So if you haven't used microcrystals before, today is a great time to see how they go, just because they are a really interesting, fantastic product that enhance your jewelry. They take it absolutely to the next level. So usually when you're making beaded ropes, like essentially what the little microcrystal, what the chenille rope is, they're just with seed beads, and you can't quite get that same level of glint and sparkle and you know, wow factor just from the plain pure seed beads. But on the but when you use the microcrystals, they really come to life. I've got a little shot just here which I can show you, all part of our new program, which I'm glad it seems to be working. But yeah, here is a little shot of one of my chenille stitch ropes just there, that you can see it's got the microcrystals in it, so you can see how it's glinting and sparkling there, and really sort of adds extra texture, as it were, to your bead work. But yeah, so I'll show you the size comparison, because they're the same size as your size 11 Japanese seed beads or your size 10 Czech Preciosa seed beads. So you can see I've got them all on a little string just there, on a needle actually. And you can see in the middle, the little red ones, they're little faceted crystals. So that's what makes them sparkly, because obviously being crystal, that helps to make them look really fantastic. But just beside them to the left, the white ones you can see are the Preciosa size 10s. Just to the right in the blue are the TOHO size 11, and then at the very end, Miyuki size 11. So they're all pretty much the same sort of size in general, but you can see that your microcrystals, they're all sort of the same size as well. So they all kind of come in, and the great news is that at the moment they're on sale on our website. So if you head over to beadspider.co.uk, I've got a very squeaky chair today, I've just realized. If you head over to the Bead Spider website, you can head on and get our, so today is the 16th of May. If you head over to our website, you can use the following code. One second, let me just pop it on the screen for you. So if you use the code, if you're in North America, so the USA or in Canada, if you're spending over £30 on an order that's made up just of microcrystals, you can use this code just here, the GIVEMEMICROUSA code, and straight away you will get free shipping to the US or to Canada. If you're in the UK, again, if you become a member on our website, as long as you're spending £10, you'll get free shipping. So don't forget, you just put that code in, the GIVEMEMICROUSA, into the box at the coupon box on the website, and that will sort of bring you to the getting the free shipping. So anyway, I'll just tilt my camera down. I just realized I could have been doing that this whole time. And we'll begin our little tutorial. But first, I might say hello to a few people just who are watching, just to introduce you all. If you haven't seen any of my tutorials before, we're Bead Spider. So let's just fade on in. So we're from Bead Spider in the UK. We're living in the UK, but we're an Australian family. But yeah, let's see, who have we got on already? So Kelly, nice to see you. Eliza, good to see you there. Linda, thanks for stopping by. James, thanks for tuning in. Winnie as well. Those are the people on Facebook. Who have we got on YouTube? We have Kito, and we also have Jenny. Thanks very much for joining in. As Jenny's question, we have quite a few of the crystals that don't have an AB coating. We've got lots of different colors. There's 58 colors, in fact, that we have, but I'll just show you. These are the ones that I'm going to be using today. They are color number 52, I believe it is, the electric blue. That's the color that I'm going to be using, which is this one just here of the microcrystals. I've got Preciosa size 10 seed beads just here, which its color number, the product code is PSB 10 34020, color number number 23. So oh, hello to Aisha, and Jenny's off in Australia. That's great. Yeah, well, we're fellow Australians, so yes, nice to have you joining us. And Edward, nice of you to pop in as well. I'm doing well. I hope everybody else is all okay. So this one is actually color number 22 of the microcrystals. Sorry, so that's a mistake. And I've also got myself some Spiderlon beading thread just here, which it's made in Germany. It's a bonded monofilament thread that we use. And the reason I like it so much is it helps you. This is one that here's one I made earlier. It helps you to get a really firm, nice tension in your beadwork. but at the same time, because it's bonded and it's only a single monofilament of thread, it never frays. So when you're trying to thread it through your needle, it doesn't end up a big giant mess or anything. And if you ever pierce it, it's all fine. Now, if you want to head on over, we have our instructions available of this particular kit. For this particular one, it's only £2 at the minute on the Bead Spider website. So it's this one just here. As you can see, it covers, this is the first page just here, and the second page, it covers the full tutorial. I'm going to go through that with you as we, ooh, the screen seems to have gone a bit funny there, hasn't liked that. But yeah, the plan is I'm going to go through that little by little as we hope to show you this full tutorial. But yeah, so you can get that on the Bead Spider website for just £2. Our little bracelets here, we have them as kits, which I think we have maybe 6 different kits on the website. There's gold ones. But what I like about this particular stitch is if you want the colors to blend, like in this one here, you don't even see that they're there until, much like in that GIF that I showed you, when it moves, that's when you really begin to see that fantastic sparkling effect and everything comes to life and looks amazing. Otherwise, like with the one that I'm going to be demoing today, just because it's significantly easier to see, I've got a contrast. So if I bring it a little closer and just focus in here, see how you can see there's the dark blue and the light blue together. You can see how much those little crystals sparkled, can't you? I was hoping that would be the case, because sometimes crystal sparkle doesn't seem to show over camera, but luckily it looks like it's working well today. So let's begin, shall we? Let me just pop that back into focus, sorry. So let's have a quick little look at our instructions just here. Let's just pop over, whoops, wrong one, my mistake. Here we go, let's just pop over here. So now if we have a little look, you can see we're going to be we need some, if you can see the mouse just there, we need some Aurora microcrystals, which the ones I'm using, as I said, a color number 22, the electric blue. 1 string's worth is enough, and if you didn't know, they are on sale today, which is the 16th of May 2020, and that sale will continue on until UK time Wednesday, midnight Wednesday, which, let me just have a little look, is going to be the 20th. So if you're on there now, you can get those on discount. And if you're in the US or in Canada or in the UK, you can get free postage. So those in the US and Canada, if you are only buying microcrystals, because obviously for weight restrictions, if it's only microcrystals and you're spending over £30, you'll get free postage. So it doesn't matter how many you order. You can order, you know, 40 strands of them or more if you want to. You'll get your free shipping, doesn't matter. Just use that code, and if you're in the UK, if you sign up and become a member, you automatically get free shipping anytime you spend over £10. So back to our instructions now. We'll just have a little look through at the pictures just here. Let's hope that that's showing properly. There we go. So you can see just here in our first picture, I'll read it. This isn't working quite the way I hoped it would. There we go. So the first thing that we're going to do is cut ourselves a piece of thread. Like I said, I like to use Spider-Lon thread. You can cut yourself a longer piece or a shorter piece if you want to, but it definitely works out much easier if you've got a length that's easy for you to work with. That's the most important part. So the first thing that we need to do is thread on 4 seed beads to our thread, which is, you know, nice and simple, but we go through them a couple of times. So I'll just scroll down just here and give it a little click. There you go. So you can see we add on our 4 beads and then we go through the first two of them again. So I'll just pop back over to the camera being on me, and we'll begin our little tutorial, shall we? So I've got my thread all sorted. Here we go, and let's come back to me. Here we are. So here we are. So I've got my thread. I'll take my 4 little seed beads just here. Unfortunately, I was hoping I'd be able to see all of your comments simultaneously, but it doesn't seem that they're all coming through. Baby dear, hi from the USA. Lovely to have you joining us. So let's just continue on here. So as you can see, I've got my 4 beads on my thread. I'll slide them down, leaving, as it said in the instructions, a tail of about 30 centimeters. We need that tail so that we can add on our clasp a bit later. So here we go. Leave that little 30 centimeters or so of tail thread, and I'll pass through. Let me just pop that into focus for you when I hold it a little closer. So I'll hold it about here. There we go. So I'll just pop through, back through the first 2 beads to start with, so that we can create our first little ladder, because that's essentially what we're doing, is we're building. Ooh, where's the camera got to be? Here we go. Sorry about that. Just fiddling with everything today. It's all going a bit awry with new programs causing me headaches as I learn them. But hopefully soon, because I intend to do lots of these live videos. They'll be at least every Saturday. But I might do a second one on Wednesday too if they're going really well. So yeah, you can see here I've gone through 2 beads again. So now they all sit relatively nicely, sort of side by side in a little square. I'll just pass my needle back down. There's the focus point. Through these 2 just here once more, so that my threads are side by side. So that's pretty much what it says to do in step 1 just there. So now if we come back to our instructions, we're looking at diagram 2 just here, and if we come up and have a look, it says we're going to thread on 2 seed beads again, and then we're going to take our needle back down the second pair of beads that we added in step 1. Then when we pull it tight, we'll take the needle through the 2 beads that we added in this step once more, and that's essentially going to create our next little ladder stitch. So if you can see, it's this step just here, number 2. Hopefully that's clear enough. Let me know on the comments if everything is clear and easy enough to see. Potentially the text isn't so good, but maybe I can zoom in a little and hopefully we can see that. Anyway, so I'll just do that. I'll bring it back over here and I'll add on the next 2 beads. So my thread is coming out just here. There we are. So see, I've got my 4 little beads. I'll add on 2 beads. If you hold your beadwork in your fingers like this, so it's pressed between my thumb and index finger, it's much easier. It doesn't go anywhere. So I'll just take my needle through, where's the focus point? There it is. Through those 2 little beads just here that I've, the second pair of beads that I've added. Oops, fell out of the needle. There we go. So you can see that second one. As I pull that tight, that'll help create the start of this first little ladder stitch. So that's the first part there. Pull it nice and tight. There we are. Pull all my threads nice and tightly. And then you can see now I've got 6 beads, which looks like a bit of a higgledy-piggledy mess, but it's about to get a little bit better as I go back through the beads I've just added. Once everything is nice and tight, pull your threads tight, go back through those 2 beads that I just added. And oops, I'm almost out of screen there. As I pull that tight, pull all the way through, it neatens those 6 little beads up. So see that? So essentially now what I need to do is continue along creating that little effect just there. And when what we're going to do next is have a look here at this photo in the center here, number 3. So if you can see that, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but anyway, it's this image in the middle. I need to make my ladder a ladder of 6 beads, so 6 little pairs. So that's where we're going to continue now. So we're just repeating that same step that we just did, where if you hold it nice and tight like this, you can keep your tension firm. And I'll pick up 2 beads. Our thread is coming out this side at the minute, so we need to create that little loop. We loop around and go through those 2 beads from the back so that our thread is going to be coming out back exactly where it was just before. So I'll just pull that nice and tight. We're pretty much, what we're doing right now, the reason we're making this little ladder is it works pretty much as a foundation for our chenille stitch. It's not entirely necessary, but it does really make the finished bracelet or rope in general, because you can use this to make necklaces as well, or even if you make pendants, you can do the little pendants, hang them with the beaded rope. So essentially what we're doing is, if we have a look on my finished one, there's just at the base of our chenille stitch work, you can see this little row of beads that sort of gives it a really clean and neat finish at the end before we start our clasp section, which I'll cover that a bit later, obviously, but that's essentially what we're making right now. So I've gone back through, that's 4 of my 6. I'll just blast the other 2 on as well. So I've got all 6 pairs completed there. So just again, my thread's on this side now, so I need to, making it a bit dark, I should get some better lighting, I think. So the thread's coming out this side, so I'll come through that just there, and I'll pull that up nice and tight and get that going. So once we've got it tight again, that's going to start looking quite nice there. So what comments have people been saying? Let's have a look. So on Facebook, how many hanks of beads for the bracelet? So the micro crystals, you only need 1 little pack's worth, because you get about 200. The nice thing is with chenille stitch, you don't need to use too many beads. It's only like 1 crystal or 2 crystals for 1 crystal for every 3 or 4 different seed beads. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck. It's a very, very sparkly just from those few little beads that you get there. Hello to the people on YouTube, by the way. I'm glad we've got some people watching there. This is our first ever live simulcast, so is the term. So I hope it's going all okay and everyone is enjoying it so far. But yeah, if it's a little shoddy, that's because it's my very first one, I suppose. But hopefully, as I get more practice and get better at it, the tutorials will get a little better, a little easier to follow and whatnot, and we won't have so many technical difficulties, as it were. So anyway, let's just add that final little stitch just there, and then we can begin to do the chenille stitch. So I'll just pass through this one here, pull that nice and tight through there. Oops, let's pull this a little tighter, get our tension nice and firm. And then the last one through those 2 beads at the end. How many have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets. There we go. Let's pull that tight there now. There we are. And now it's important that you get a nice little tension here, because this essentially makes the size of your bracelet. So if you wanted to make one that was a bigger, wider stitch, you could do more in this foundation row, but essentially this sort of sets up the size of your finished piece. Instead of the microcrystals, you can use any size 10 or size 11 seed beads. So as long as all the beads are the same size, you can sort of just swap them. You can even do it with larger beads. So as long as your two different things are the same size, so if you had two colors of Preciosa size 10s, or if you had size 8 seed beads in two colors, or even a seed bead which is the same size as a crystal, you can do that. But the reason this works so well is because the crystals give you that extra bling to your little piece just there. So if we have a look now, what I'm going to do with my stitch, I'll just show you the diagram, is if we have a look, it's that one labeled number 4. So I'm going to, my thread's coming out this end on the right, and essentially what I'm going to do is take my needle all the way up the opposite side of the ladder so that it will, like in picture 5, turn into this little circle, essentially, which is the foundation of our tube. So you can see that in the little picture there, and that's essentially what I'm going to do now. So if we have a little look, you can see my thread is coming out the bottom of this bead here, and I'm going to go up this pair of beads so that it folds the two sides together into a single piece. So with my thread coming out of here, going down, down, down to my needle, I'll go up these two beads here, like so. So there we go. So I'm going up the two beads on the opposite side, and then make sure it's from the, whoops, I dropped it. So it's from the same side as the thread is exiting. So my thread's exiting at the bottom, so I need to thread up through the bottom into the top with my needle. Otherwise, you end up with a big fat twist. So I'll just pull that together, and you can see that loop sort of starts to take shape now. To complete the loop, I'll take my two beads, back down those two beads in the opposite direction. Let's try and just show that there. So you can see I'm just going through this one, but I'm going back down, and that will hopefully, when everything pulls nice and tight, bring my two pieces, the two ends, sorry, together into that perfect little ring, which will work as the foundation of my piece just here. So there we go. That's that little foundation at the bottom coming together now. So I've got that all secure. I think I might, just for ease, I'll go back one more time from top to bottom, so from bottom to top rather, so that I'm coming out the other end and it's just extra secured. So just one more, I'll go back up through there and pull that nice and tight. And now we're in position and ready to start doing the chenille stitch technique. So if we come down, I'll just have a look at my little diagrams just here. Where are we? Here we are. So we're going to be starting with the one on the far left, which is picture number 6. The text for number 6 here, so you can see I've got two beads at the top here. Don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but two little beads just here that we're going to be adding on with our thread and going up the next, so going down, sorry. So you can see our thread is coming up here. We're going to add these two beads and then come down through this bead here. So the next bead along is the one that we're going to go through. So essentially, if I show you that on my thing here, we're coming up through this bead here. We'll add on two beads and we'll go down this two beads here. So technically that's a herringbone stitch that we're doing. But that will set us up. We do 3 little herringbone stitches to create that sort of basis for our chenille stitch. So with my thread coming out just here, pick up my 2 beads and go down that next bead along. So hopefully you can just see, where's that? There we go. So my thread's coming out. I've added on 2 beads and I'm going down this next one. And as I pull that nice and tight, they'll sit just above the 2 beads previous. Oops, it's a little fiddly at the beginning to hold everything nice and neat, especially as I'm trying to show it to the camera. But these are those 2 beads I've just added. So now what I need to do is thread across. So my thread's coming out the bottom of this bead now. I'm going to thread across and come out of the top of the bead beside it, which is this one just here. Oops, can we see that? Where's my focus? There we go. That's a bit better. So I'm going to go out the top of that bead just there. So pulling that nice and tight. Make sure the thread doesn't get in the way of your other beads. And now I'm in position to add the next little herringbone stitch. So I'll pick up. So if we just look back at the diagram, what I did just then is number 7. So you can see I've just gone back up through that bead just there. And now what I'm going to do is pick up 2 more seed beads. So I'm going to repeat that, what I've just done, pick up 2 seed beads and go down the next bead around the circle. So let's just have a little look back here at what I'm doing. Here we go. There we are. So I'll pick up my 2 beads and head down that next one just there. So see that there? And then as I pull that tight, that will create the next little, oh, did I pick up 2 beads? No, I've only picked up 1. How silly. Oh well, if this happens and you make a little mistake, as I say, it's always better to take the needle off, just because you don't want to catch the threads on each other, because that makes life very, very difficult. So it's always easier if you take the needle off and take the beads off where you've made mistakes and add on the next beads again once you put your needle back on, because it's always much easier than if you accidentally pierce the thread below as you try and weave back and catch it and things. It just ends up in a big tangle and a big mess. So this time I'm going to pick up 2 beads this time, just to make sure I'm doing it correctly, and pass down that next bead along. So you can see just there, pull down just there. And as I pull that tight, you can see, oops, just went out of screen for a second there. Sorry about that. You can see it's now sitting on top of my little stitch, and I need to just come along and go and keep going up, and I need to go up this little bead just here. So through there. Oops, trying to do it so I don't get my fingers in the way. Here we go. Up that bead just there. And then I'll add on the final 2 beads. And then that's when we can start chenilling. And then it's really quick and fun and easy once you've got this little base started. So I'll pick up my last 2 beads, go down that next bead just there. And as I pull that tight, there we are. And now what I'll do is essentially a step up, as you would call it, where I'm going to pass across and up into the next bead along. Get it in focus for you. There we go. And up through and into the seed bead. So just put that up there. And now we're in position. I'm in between 2 beads of one of my little herringbones that I've made. So I'm ready now to continue and start in chenille stitch. So if we have a look back at my diagrams here, if we take a look at the one labeled number 8, which is towards the right now, what I'm going to do is pick up one of my little micro crystal beads, and I'm going to pass down the next little seed bead in the that little herringbone that I made. So that's what we're going to do in step 8. Once I've done that with photo 8, once I've done that, I'll weave across, just like I did just before, as with step 8, where you go across, photo 7, you go across and up the bead beside. So technically I'll be going down this bead at the top there, whoops, and then I'm going to come up through that bead, that one just there. So that's the plan. So let's just bring it back here now, and I will pick up my first little micro crystal, which I have it just there. So you can see they're the same size as the seed beads. You go down that little seed bead beside, and we're going to link the two little pieces together by, so I've got my little crystal there. Coming out of this seed bead, I'll go up this seed bead beside it, just here. So pull that nice and tight. And I'll just repeat that twice more with the microcrystals. If you haven't got this pattern and you want to follow along with our pattern, it's only £2. You can get it straight from the Bead Spider website. It's right on the home page, really accessible to get the pattern. We do also have kits which include the pattern in the price, so you don't have to pay additional for the pattern. It's included with the kit if you want to make it and you like any of the colorways that we already have there for you. So I'll just pass up, I've added that second crystal now, pass up the bead beside and add my third little crystal here. There we go, and then I'll go back down. So it's essentially just doing the same thing 3 times. Back down there. And now I've added on my 3 crystals. So if you have a look at the top just here, hopefully, if I can get that nicely in focus, you can see the 3 sparkly little crystals at the top, which if we have a look at our diagrams just here, see number 9, that's essentially where we are now. So I've got to see how the thread's coming out of one of those micro crystal beads just there. So what I need to do is go beside where I was. Here we go. Let's just bring it back here now. Get it into focus if I can. Come on now. There we go. That's better. So now, if I just go up that little side bead there and into my first crystal, so I'll do it in 2 steps rather than just 1. I'll go through the seed bead first, which is the one just beside, which pulls it together. And now I'll go through that first little micro crystal. So through there, my size 11 crystal. So that I'm coming out of that. Hopefully it's in focus. There we go. So you can see the threads coming out of that little micro crystal now. There we are. And now this is where the chenille stitching begins in earnest. So this is where it's really easy and fun from now on. All you're going to do is join these. So the first step is to, if you have a look at picture 10, I've got 2 little beads just here. I'm going to add these 2 little beads onto my needle, and then with my thread exiting from this crystal here, I'm going to pass through this crystal here. So that will add 2 beads joining our little micro crystals, and then I'll repeat that again and again until we have 2 little seed beads joining each of the 3 little crystals at the top there. So that's what we're doing next. So you can see I've got my, 1 second, there we go. Let's just get things back in view. Here we are. Hopefully you can see it. So I'm coming out of this little crystal just here. I'll pick up 2 seed beads and I'll go through the next crystal along. So that's this one just here. Pull, 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 pull. Oops, went out of shot for a second there. But you can see I've got 2 beads between those crystals now. So that's the first step. Then the next step is to pick up 2 more, pass through the next little crystal around the circle. So there's, see that crystal I'm moving with my needle? We'll pass through that, pull it nice and tight, and then finally I will add on my 2 final seed beads and I'll go up through that last little crystal and also, if you can see it, the first seed bead. So I'm going through the crystal, which hopefully you can see it sparkling when I move, and the seed bead. So I go through there and just the first seed bead. So that will step us up, as it were, so that we can begin adding our next row of crystals. So now essentially what we're going to do is just repeat the process of adding 3 crystals now. So I'll add a crystal and I'll go through my next seed bead. Then I'll jump across and skip this little crystal here, skip that crystal and pass into this seed bead. So essentially it will bring this seed bead and this seed bead closer together. So if you can't quite see it, I'll show you it on here. So see how the little seed beads sit really neatly side by side? By skipping the crystal below and passing into the 2 seed beads, you bring them really neatly and close together. So I'll just, got my thread into a bit of a mess. There we go. So there we go. So I'll just skip that first little bead there and into the next seed bead, pull it tight, make sure my thread goes above the crystal, and then as you can, whoops, sorry, I went out of screen there, didn't mean to do that. Hopefully you can see just there that it's, let's put it into a bit more focus, a bit lower down. I think the phone's causing a bit of a shadow on the monitor, onto the beadwork, so you can't quite see what I'm doing. There we go. Maybe that's a bit better. So now, with my thread coming out of the next seed bead, oops, you can see now it almost makes this neat little block of 5 around that block of 4, sorry, around that crystal. So now with my, I'll just rotate it a little. Coming out of the seed bead, I'll pick up 1 crystal and I'll go down the next little one just there. Now, if you're having a bit of trouble seeing what I'm doing, the great news is we've actually done a tutorial on this before. So it's on the Bead Spider YouTube channel. You can go there and watch that in high definition. That one's done with Jermaine. She goes through the whole thing on there. But obviously, this one I'm doing live for a bit of fun. But yeah, you can also go onto the Bead Spider YouTube or onto our website and see those videos in there, because we do keep that, we do have those on the website as well. So let's just press on now and I'll do my next little seed bead. So I've skipped this seed bead just here and this one here, and now I'll pick up 1 crystal and I'll go through the next seed bead along, just there. Oops, let's just keep everything out of the way, get my tail thread out the way, and then as I pull that nice and tight, there we go, and now I'm ready to step up again by passing from here through this seed bead and into the next crystal as well. Because if we're going through the crystal, that steps us up into the next spot there. Let me just get a little bit closer. There we go. So there we are. So now I've got my 3 crystals, and I will add in my seed beads in between again. So it's pretty much just a process of adding the crystals and then joining them from now on. So you just go through the first crystal. I'll do it from above so you can see. Add on those 2 beads. See that there? I'll rotate it round towards myself so that it's sort of back to where it was. There we go. Then I will go through the next crystal, pull it nice and tight, keep my tension nice and firm with my fingers just here, and then pick up 2 more seed beads, and I'll pass through that final little crystal just there. So whoops, where are we? There we go. So we'll pass through that last crystal, and as you pull that nice and tight, you start to create that little pattern of beads in the center of your crystals, in the center of the seed beads. So let's just do one more row of adding the crystals and then the seed beads, and then I'll jump ahead to where we've done to doing the clasp. So, and finishing it off. So essentially I step up so that I'm coming out between 2 seed beads here, like so. Pick up 1 crystal, head down the next seed bead, rotate it around a little so I can see where I'm going, and skipping the micro crystal, I'll pass through the next little seed bead there. So let's just pass through that just there like this, pull it nice and tight, rotate it round in position to add the next crystal. So I'll just pop on my crystal, go through that next bead, oops, there we go, through the next bead, pull it nice and tight, there we go, rotate it round a little, so skip the next crystal and go through just the seed bead, and then add on that 3rd little crystal between those gaps just there. So let's just pop that down and through there. And again, we'll pull that nice and tight. And then finally, let's just see what people have been getting up to. There we go. So now the next step, I'll just add in my 3 seed beads, and then we'll jump ahead to adding on the clasp. So it's starting to take shape now. Once you get to this point, it is very, very quick. You just step up by going through, skipping that little crystal, going through that seed bead, and up the crystal once more. And then as we pull that nice and tight, there we go. So there's that just there. Let's see. So that, as you can see, starts to make that little pattern sort of come to life a bit there. So there's that there. Can we see that there? How's everybody getting along? Is anyone making along with me out of interest just while they're doing it? Hello to Baby Deer, hi from the USA. Angel is saying thank you. Thank you as well. I'm glad everyone's watching. Is anyone making along with me out of interest? If you want to make this, don't forget that they are on sale at the minute. Our Aurora microcrystals, you can get them straight from the Bead Spider website, which if you're in the UK, Delivery is free if you're a member for over £10, and becoming a member is for free. Otherwise, if you're in the US or Canada, you can use this code here, GIVEMEMICROUSA, when you're at checkout. And if you're spending over £30 buying just microcrystals, you'll get free postage sent to you. So it doesn't matter how many different microcrystals you're getting, you'll get free shipping. And if you didn't see the little picture of the size comparison, here is that just here. So you can see the microcrystals there in red. They're little faceted crystals. They are lovely and bright, and really add sparkle to your jewelry. And you can see on the left, they're the same size as your Preciosa size 10s, or your TOHO size 11, or Miyuki size 11. And as I said, they really add that sparkle and shimmer and shine to your beaded ropes. It really takes your jewelry to the next level. Just simple beadwork becomes something really spectacular and fantastic. So Kelly asks me, what is my favorite stitch? I actually have been really enjoying doing brick stitch lately. I did quite a few patterns. I'm not sure if you haven't seen them, we did a whole series of little rainbow patterns. So I did a peyote rainbow bracelet, and then a brick stitch earring and pendant as well. And I really enjoyed the way that you can make shapes with your brick stitch. Let's just come back to my little beads just here. And then Elaine, I'm glad you're enjoying the video. Thanks for watching, Elaine. And then any questions on YouTube? If you're on YouTube and watching, definitely say hello. Let me know what you're getting up to, everyone, by the way. I want to know how everybody's doing with lockdown at the moment, and how everybody's keeping entertained, what they're doing to keep themselves busy and everything. So I'll just add my last little section of seed beads here, and then we'll jump ahead towards the end where we're adding on our clasps. So with my little beads, with my thread coming out of this crystal here, I'll go through that next crystal and pull that nice and tight. If I do it from the top, maybe you can see it a bit better. Yeah. Then I'll get my next two seed beads, jump through the next crystal, pull that nice and tight, and then lastly two more through the last seed bead. And when you've done your third one, you go through the last seed bead and the very first seed bead that you've just added in this row. That way it steps you up. And now, because you can see I'm coming out between these two seed beads here, you can start adding your crystals again. So if we just jump ahead and have a little look, this is the sort of effect that, wait, let's put it into focus again. Sorry about that. It's on manual. I need to put it onto a more automatic focus. But anyway, so there you go. You can see you start to get that pattern, and look how sparkly and glinty that is. Isn't that lovely? So you can see I've got that lovely pattern forming. Let's just bring it nice and close so we can see. So a bit too close there. There we go. So now you can see that how there's little groups of, there's a crystal and then 4 little seed beads around each corner. And so you can see that does really add to the effect, and it looks quite nice, doesn't it? That's a really lovely little effect. And then you just continue on. As I said, you could make this into a necklace if you wanted to, or obviously you make it into a bracelet. The plan that I had, though, just last night while I was making this, is because it's quite bendable, if you've got, and I'm thinking I might do a little tutorial on it maybe in a week or so, a few weeks time, is if you make a piece that's sort of earring hoop size, you could always bend it round into a little circle like that using some ring memory wire, which I did have some around, but I appear to have mislaid it. And in this little circle, if you've got your ring memory wire inside, it'll hold that shape beautifully, and before you stitch the two pieces together, you can attach your little earring findings there, and it will become this lovely little dangling, hanging earring, which would look slightly more circular than the way I'm holding it, hopefully, but you know, and you wouldn't need to use this little brick stitch section. You could just start straight with chenille and turn it into a single loop. But that's a fun little plan that I'm considering doing maybe in a week or so, maybe a few weeks time. But anyway, so as you can see here, I'm at the point where I've finished. So when you need to stop is to continue with, to make your other end match, we need to add this to the opposite side. So essentially you need to stop when you've just finished adding a row of seed beads, just like this. So this is where we're up to. If we take a little look at my instructions again, hopefully I can show that to you. Let's just pop on over. Wait a second. Is it going to behave for me? Yes. Very good. So if I just pop that onto screen now. So in photo 11, you can see just here, what I'm going to do is, now that I've got a whole row of beads here, you know, my tube, we'll pretend my tube is finished. What I need to do is add on the little clasp section. So with my thread coming out of a seed bead, because you must finish when you've just finished doing your row of adding all the seed beads and everything, don't add the crystals. Instead of adding the crystals, we're going to use a little herringbone stitch to add these two beads. Ooh, no, that didn't quite do it the way I hoped it would. There we no, doesn't want to happen for me. Here we go. These two beads here. So I'm going to add those two beads through so that they are sitting between these two beads. So if we have a look at the next diagram, if we say these are the two beads just here, so this box equates to these two beads, these two beads just here, which are sitting above it, equates to these two beads. Oops, there we go. So those two beads. So I'll just pop back over to my video. Let's see. There we go. So now what I need to do here, once you've got your full length bracelets worth length, you pop your needle on for starters. That would be a good start, wouldn't it? If I just pop my needle on, come on now, there we go. And what we do, actually I'll show you it on my other piece, because I do need to make that one a little bit longer, but we'll come back to that other one when it comes to doing the other side of our clasp. So I'll just make this one into a teeny weeny little piece for now. Whoops, knocked the camera, sorry about that. Let's put it back into focus as well, that's important. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do, I'll just do it on that small piece I was doing, because I do want to make that bracelet into full length. It's just a few rows. I need to do an extra couple of centimeters on it, but hopefully everything is still all playing properly and you can all see me. How's everybody going on? Are you enjoying the video so far? Is everyone... I'm glad Aisha, who's on YouTube, says she likes the colors. I like them too. How's everybody else getting on? If you didn't see what the colors were, this is our Aurora micro crystal color number 22. So size 11 crystal seed bead number 22. That's this one. I think it's electric blue. And then my seed bead color is, if you want to put the same code in, it's PSB 10-34020-23. Otherwise, we do have kits for example, this one here is a ready-made kit that you can get off of our website. Same with this really lovely midnight blue one. That's a lovely one. We've got a creamy one. The silver is my personal favorite, which is the one which you see in our GIF just here, the little animation. That's the silver kit. And then I also have a red one, which is this. I really like these ones because the beads that we've used in it, I don't know if you can quite see it, but let's hope so. If I bring it nice and close, there's a sapphire coating on the crystals on these ones. So the little red ones, hopefully you can see they have this little blue fleck that happens every now and again. That's because they're sapphire coated, these little microcrystals. And then the last colorway, which is a really lovely one again, is this sort of mottly dark greeny color. But you can pop onto the website and see all of those directly on there. If I'd had better lighting, unfortunately I need to get better lights, you would have been able to see that a little bit better. So anyway, yes, Elaine, if you didn't see it, if you're in the US or Canada, definitely use the Give Me Micro USA coupon code. You'll get free postage if you're buying just microcrystals. So, you know, if you're spending over £30, which I think with the sale which is on at the minute equates to maybe six different colors or so, you'll get your free shipping to the US and you can try them out. So that code as well, by the way, it's currently there's no expiry on it, so you can use any time in the future. If you need to restock on your microcrystals, pop that code in at any time. It'll work day and night, Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day. It's a continuous promotion that we're running. So far, I mean, obviously subject to change, who knows, but anytime you want to get your microcrystals to the US or Canada, use that code for free postage. Or if you're in the UK, become a member. You don't need to use a coupon code if you're in the UK. It'll be automatic and you can order whatever you want. As long as it's £10, you'll get free shipping. So let's see. So if I come back here, I'll actually start demonstrating again. Took a bit of a pause there, you know, just to see what everyone was doing. But let's get back to some beading, shall we? Have I dropped my needle? No, I haven't. Thank goodness. That would have been a problem. So if we just pretend this is a full-length bracelet now, by the way, I know I was going to use my other piece, but I wanted to make it just a little bit longer so it actually fits. So I'm going to do the next few steps on this just so that you can see. So if we have a look back at our instructions I showed you just before, we're doing the photographs from the instructions, which are photographs 11 and 12. So we're photo 12 essentially is what we're doing. We're matching the other side to the far end to our beginning of our bracelet. So let's just show you how we do that. So with your thread coming out of 2 seed beads here, pick up 2 more seed beads. So instead, where you would add a crystal, essentially it's exactly the same as how you would do it when you're adding a crystal, but what we're doing is adding 2 seed beads into this gap. So technically it is a herringbone stitch. So you just slide those down. As it goes nice and tight, you'll see they sit neatly. Wait, let's just check everything is in focus here. Not really. There we go. So see how they start to sit on top of the other beads just there? So if here, I'll hold it here. That's better focus. So now what I'm going to do is rotate round, skip the crystal, pass through the next little seed bead just there. And wait, let's put me in focus. If I keep my arms on the table, we won't have to worry about me coming out of shot anymore. So sorry if I keep going out of shot. My it's a bit of a different setup to how I would usually do, and I'm just getting accustomed to it all. So there we go. So now that I'm coming out of a seed bead again, I will pick up 2 little crystals, seed beads, sorry, 2 seed beads, and I will pass down the next seed bead so that it's popping between. There we go. If you can see that, let's get these beads out the way so they're not in the background. We don't need to see them anymore. There we go. Just use my little sort tray. There we are. So now, hopefully, that will be a little bit clearer when I try and show you things. There won't be beads in the way. So there you can see now I've got the sort of startings of that little image in which was photo 12 of my instructions. So photo 12, we've got the startings of that now. I've just added these 2 beads just here, essentially. So we're working around adding those beads in one by one, and essentially we'll just repeat this process, herringboning, to add the end of our little piece just here. So now skip the crystal and into the next seed bead, and then finally pick up 2 little beads there and go down the next one. And then we go up and through the next, skip the crystal. Oops, sorry, I keep going out of shot. Sorry about that. So through the next seed bead and up to step up, as it were, through there, and now we're ready to herringbone the next few. So if I pick up 2 seed beads again, go down here, and then this is I really like this little bit because it all starts to come together. As you pull that down, you need to jump across to the next seed bead, so it's at the top of the next little herringbone just there, if you can see that. So we've just added the 3rd little herringbone there, jump across to the top, and when we pull that together, it brings your 2 little rows neatly together into one little piece. So if you've got your tension nice and tight, pick up 2 more seed beads and just check if we're in focus again. Are we? Could be better. There we go. So pick up 2 seed beads. I've got 1, 2. Go down the next little seed bead along. It's important to keep tension tight when you're doing this, so it stays nice and neat. Then we rotate it around, jump across and up through that next bead, pull it tight, and then we're in position to add our last 2 beads just here, through there, and then there's that last little herringbone on the top. Get it nice and sitting neatly, and then as we come across, we'll jump up the bottom of the 2, so the middle of the 2 beads here. So see how there's 3 now? We go up that middle one and then up into the top. And essentially what we're going to do now is join these little pieces together. So instead of adding any more beads, you just go down the next bead and up the next one on the top. So it pulls your little herringbones together. Down the next bead. Can everybody see this all okay? How's the camera and everything looking, by the way? Is it high quality? Is it not too you know, is the audio all good? Is everything looking nice quality and working well as I do this? Because obviously if this is working nicely, I can do this again in future, this little setup, and as I get used to it, if the quality's looking great, hopefully it'll make the process a lot easier, especially as I get better at demonstrating to the camera being right in the middle of my way. But anyway, so you can see there now, I've got my nice little finish so that it would match. Just imagine there's a significantly larger amount of chenille in the middle there, but you'll see that this end and this end now match each other. So with my thread coming out of the top, the first thing I'm going to do, if we jump back to our instructions, we're making, so see this little loop in photos 14 and 15. That's our main aim as we make this little piece just here. So what I need to do, I'm going to use herringbone all the way around to make that into a really lovely little loop, essentially. So it's a very, very simple and easy process. But if we read what the text says there, I don't know if you can quite see it all, but essentially we need to make a little loop that's big enough that it will fit over the top of our little clasp bead, which is, I've got one 10x8 crystal just here. Obviously, if you want to, you can just use a metal clasp at this point and join the two ends like a magnetic one or whatever it is that you want to do. But instead, because I like the crystal vibe, I have my 10x8 crystal here in a nice dark blue, because I think that really sets it off. The color just sort of really brings it all together. Oh, I'm out of focus. There we go. So imagine this will be at one end, and then our little loop in the diagrams, number 14 and 15, they're going to be on the opposite end. So that's our plan now. So if we have a little look at our end again, I'll just pop that into shot just now. Here we go. So if you have a little look, we're coming out of two beads here. So I'm going to create a nice little loop of with those beads. So let's make sure that we do it long enough that it will fit our crystal. If you want to get that pattern, by the way, it is on our website. It's only £2, so it's really good value because it does cover the entirety. Everything that I've been doing today will show you the whole process, and we do also have a video showing how we make our Monaco, is the name of the kit, is the bracelet. But essentially I need to make a ladder just now, which is 17 pairs long. So if we just make one big tall row, you'll see it in a second. It looks great when it comes out. So with my thread between two seed beads, I just pick up two beads and then I'll add two beads on there so that I'm going between that gap. And now what I'm going to do is go back through the bead I was just coming out of, and then up through the bead that I've just, the first of the two beads I've just added. So it's only the first one of those two beads. So if I add that in, I'll go back through just that first bead, if you can see that. And now I've added an extra little pair of beads. If I turn it sideways, you can see it just sitting proud of the rest. What I'm going to do now is just keep joining. So that's the first level of our 17 little steps that we need to do. We'll do the next one. So go down the next bead again, pull that nice and tight, go up the bead beside that we added in the previous step, and then as we pull that nice and tight, make sure your thread stays nice and neat, we can pull it tight, as tight as you can get it, because that definitely looks better. And then we go up just the first bead that we added in the previous step. So just through there and through that first bead. So now if I turn it sideways, you can see it's sticking up even more proud compared to the end. So that's 2. You do again with a 3rd. Didn't think this through. This might take a little while on my video, so maybe I'll just jump ahead because you'll get the idea. Maybe I'll make a mini loop on my mini bracelet for a mini person. But yes, so as you can see, you just repeat that same process so that you make a nice tight little loop, and then as it continues, it gets more and more sticking up proud from the end of your thing. Just keep going, making that little herringbone loop, because essentially what we're doing is making a beaded toggle for the end of our bead work. And do you know, I was wondering if it interests people. Let me know in the comments if it's something that you want to see, because I might do a little series on little beaded clasps that you can make. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to see a little series of some beaded clasps that you can add to whatever jewelry it is that you're making, you can put it on pretty much any of your beadwork jewelry. That'll be the plan. I can potentially do that as a series. So if you want to see that, start spamming the comments, you know, go hard, typing, yes, I want to see it, I want to see it, show me those clasps, that's the sort of thing I want to see. If that's interesting to you, if it's not, don't worry. And if I get no comments, well, then I guess I won't do that because no one wants to see it. So let's just keep going like so, adding the next few beads. It comes together quite quickly, really. Once you've got the hang of it, it looks really neat, but it comes together really, really quickly and makes this nice little loop that you just bend it over to reach the other side and pop them so that it'll reach over. So see how it's coming up now? I've got my little, it's really sort of starting to take shape. So let's just show you the picture again of what I'm planning. So that's pictures 14 and 15 is what you'll end up with. So this little ladder will just sort of continue around and around and around. You don't need to use any of your crystals in this. I suppose you can if you want to have a blingy clasp, but it's not really necessary. The seed beads are perfectly suitable for this. They're a little stronger maybe, so could work better. Oh yes, we've got a few people saying that they that the clasp sounds good. Yeah, we've got 4. Laurie says that she wants to see that, and Elaine and Kelly and Paul, you all want to see that. Yeah, I want to. I'm more than happy to show you all of those different clasps. What about on YouTube? Yeah, a couple of people there saying it as well. Good. So I will do that. But anyway, I've just been continuing on while I've been on talking to you here. So let's just cut back to moi, and then you can see it's really sort of starting to take shape now, that little loop. So just a few more, just so that you get the idea. I don't think I'll do the full size, just because it'll save me a couple of minutes. But the great thing as well is if you want to make these little end loop even more secure, you can just before you attach it to the other side, I'll show you now even, you just can take your needle down all the beads and just have one little thread that's running through the whole lot of them. Maybe I'll go just short of the whole lot of them, and pull that down, and then take your needle up, or again across and up all of those threads. This works really nicely with this Spider-Lon thread, just because it's such a joy to work with. I mean, obviously there's two schools of thread usage. You get people who love the Fireline, and then you've got the people who like sort of the KO threads and your S-Lon and things like that. Well, this is more of that thread style, but I'm more of a thread advocate, because I like the way that, because it's bonded, the Spider-Lon, it's a little bit rough, so it doesn't It helps you to keep your tension really firm, but also it doesn't cut so much with crystals. I find it works really well. So Barbara, yes, you asking if you can catch up later. Yes, when the video is finished. Great question. It'll be available to view on Facebook. It'll also be available on YouTube. So if you're watching on our Facebook page, head over to YouTube and subscribe onto our YouTube channel, because you get better notifications from YouTube when we do live videos than from Facebook. But you can also watch it on the Bead Spider website, and we regularly do emails when we're going to be bringing out live videos, plus we let you know all of the information well in advance about what's going to be in the videos. So if you're not on our email list, it's a great opportunity to find out when we're doing things, and I suppose you can be a better beader, as it were, by following along with all of those tutorials. My dear Aunt Jermaine does a lot of our YouTube videos, and they're very, very popular, and we always get really fantastic, lovely comments of people saying how much they enjoyed her videos. They say she's got a very soothing voice that's easy to listen to. That's the most common one that we hear, but yeah, her videos are fantastic. So if you haven't seen any of those, for example, she's got a really great video. It's our most popular video. I think it's just reached 500,000 views just recently. It's a really clever video on how to make elastic bracelets with no glue and no tools, and it's a really strong professional technique so that they don't go all floppy and loose either. So if you haven't, if you want to learn a fancy technique on that, that's a great video. We also have a really great one on knotting beads. So head over to our YouTube, sign up, and then once you've done that, go to the Bead Spider website and become a member on our website in our newsletter section. If you say, I want to be, informed about the newsletter, you get let known when we do sales, when we bring out new kits, because we do a lot of those, and then when I'm going to be doing these live videos, you'll get an email a few days in advance, and then an hour or two before we go live saying the video is going live. So head over to our website, sign up, and then, as I've said to you, if you want to get the micro crystals that I'm using today, the sparkly crystal seed beads, if you've never used them before, it's a great chance to give them a go, because they are on sale. And if you're in the US or Canada or the UK, you can get free postage with our Give Me Micro USA coupon code if you're in the US or Canada, as long as you're spending £30, and it's just for micro crystals, because obviously due to weight constraints, it means we can give you free shipping. So we're more than happy to do it anytime. It's not just while the sale is on, it's anytime. And if you're in the UK and you become a member on our website, it doesn't matter what you're buying, £10 free shipping if you're a member. Anyway, let's just get back to this. We'll pretend I've made this 17 beads long. I haven't, but we'll pretend, just so that I can show you. I'll maybe make it 1 or 2 longer, just so it'll loop a bit better. But essentially what we do is continue, and then just make it so that it will loop to the other side, so it's attached really neatly. But you can see once you go down the edges of both sides just before you finish off, it gives you a really clean and neat, if I can get through this bead, I tell you, doesn't want to help me. There we go. So yeah, it gives you a really neat finish. So if you have a look at the top 2 beads, see how they're pretty good, but you can see they're not quite as snug. When you've gone through every single bead, you go down there and down and then back up, it gets it really firm and tight, so that you get these fantastic herringbone shaped. I really like herringbone, actually. You get that nice shape as well. So just one more I'll add so that I can loop it over neatly, and then I'll show you how to do the other side of your clasp, and then you can have a lovely completed bracelet. But as I said, it definitely works if you wanted to you know, make ropes. Anytime you can use these microcrystals, they're not so good for peyote stitch, because if you look at the shape in, here we go, there's the shape. So see how they've got those little facets on them, little cuts that help make them sparkle? Because they're those sort of irregularly shaped edges, they don't sit so well side by side if you want to put them directly into a peyote or brick stitch sort of pattern, just sort of because they sort of lock and niggle with each other, I guess. Is niggle's a good word. But yeah, for netting and herringbone, or, you know, anytime you can just swap a bead, a seed bead and a crystal in, it really adds to the effect and gives you that sparkling effect that really adds to your beadwork. Right angle weave, they look fantastic. There's a lot of different stitches that you can do them for. The only one I don't recommend is flat peyote is the only one, just because of those little the facets that you can see there. But as I said, same size as your Miyuki 11s, your Toho 11s, or Preciosa size 10s. You can pretty much use any of them with any of those beads. So finally, I'll come back to doing my bracelet here, and let's stitch the two ends together. So essentially, you can see I've got this big single loop. Obviously, you wanted it to be longer if it needs to fit over this bead, which is important. But essentially what we're going to do is make a mini one, like I said, for a mini person, almost like a ring. So what you do, you can see, you skip these two beads which are in the center, and we're going to go down as though these are the next two beads. So we're coming out of this one, we'll go down that bead just here, pull that. If you keep it relatively loose, see how that bends over? It's like a little wiggly worm. You pull that over just there. If you pull it nice and tight, it does sort of come through, but don't do it too tight yet, because it becomes easier if you go through the other bead first and into the other side. Ooh, it's getting a bit fiddly. There we go. So pull it up there. If you keep it a little loose and then go up your other bead, then when you pull that, ready? This is one of those super satisfying moments when it all comes together and you just go, ah, ready? Pull, 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 pull. And it pops into that perfect little loop. Like I said, this one's only a mini one, so don't do this if you're following along. Make sure you don't do this on your actual bracelet. You'd have to use a much smaller bead to get through that gap. But anyway, just to finish it off, you go across again and we go through the beads once more, just to really secure it in place. If I can, maybe I've got my tension so tight that it won't even do it for me. Here we go. Oh, right, I almost went through the wrong bead. There we go. So, come on now, Mr. Needle, behave. There we go. Oh, why is it being so... There we go, finally. So, it's a little loose now, but that's okay, because when you pull it tight, it all firms up. So just pull, 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 pull. Nice and tight, nice and tight. Get it tight. And then that really finishes that off. You can, if you want to, go back around again a few more times and just really secure it on so that it's absolutely not going anywhere at all, so that it's super... oops, sorry. I was trying to see what I was doing and took it out of shot again. But yeah, you can then just sort of continue along, adding in your beads. Just try not to get your threads tangled. It's important at this point, because if they get tangled in your loop, they can be difficult to work with. But yeah, there we are. And I'll just go through that one more bead one more time, and then that really will get that loop super neat. So how's that looking, everyone? Does everybody like that? So there's that sort of loop that you'll make. Obviously make a bigger one. So that's how the one end will be completed. Just get that into focus a bit better. There we go. So there, but obviously you do it longer. So I only did a mini one, but you need to use 17 beads. It's all in the pattern. If you want to get the pattern, it's only £2. So head on over. It's a free download. Oh, that's something I should tell people. If you get a download from our website, it's instant. So when you get your email that says order confirmation, it comes up on the screen and it will show you your order confirmation saying this is what you've ordered, these are all the products that you've ordered. And on the right, it's on the left side, there's 2 columns. On the left side, it shows you what the product is that you've bought. There's a nice little link. And then on the right side of the screen, there's a little link that says download it now or something like that. You click that and it will download it straight away to your it's best if you do it on the desktop. It'll be saved in your downloads folder and you'll never lose it. But any of our paid patterns, again, if you become a member on our website, which I was saying about just before, you'll have a little downloads section on your account that will show you exactly where you'll be able to go back and access all of your downloads that you've paid for again. And if you get any of our free downloads, you can access them in that same place for 90 days. The free ones, they last for 90 days. So yeah, if you've made an account, doesn't matter where in the world you are, if you make an account, you can access your downloads from the My Accounts page. But when you buy them on the website, they'll be in the very first email that you get from us, the order confirmation email. That's where your patterns, you can download them straight from there. So I'll just finish off my mini bracelet. Let's pretend it looks more like this. So there we go. This is how it was meant to look. So essentially what we'll do is I'll come back onto this one now and I will add on my clasp bead. It's very, very simple process if you use a bead as the other side of your toggle. So I'll just show you on one of these little bracelets here. So there we go. So see how you've got that nice little section at the top here, 3 little loops coming out and a nice little bead just there. The great thing is if you need to figure out the length of your bracelet more accurately, you can either shorten or extend this little section just here, and that will help you to vary it so that it's exactly your size, so that you get a really nice, neat, clean finish. So essentially that's the toggle part. This is the proper size of the loop, and then they just pop one over the top of the other like so when you go to wear it. And then you can see, because it's a relatively snug fit and because you've kind of got this extra length just here, it doesn't come undone. So it's a really nice, neat, clean finish for your bracelet there. So let's just have a little look at the instructions. Hopefully I can show you that easily enough without everything going awry. Ooh, it seems to be going awry. Where are we now? Hopefully that's going to work. No, not yet. Wait for it. Just give me a minute. I will be just a second more and then you'll be able to see those diagrams. Here we go. Perfection. So let's just pop these diagrams in. So what we're going to do now, if we cut to the diagrams, we've got our little diagrams number 16 and 17. And essentially what we need to do is attach that little clasp. So if we have a look at the other end, which is what we have just here, what we're going to do in this, we need to attach the 10mm crystal bead. So we'll put the needle on that end again. That's the first step that you need to do, is you put your needle on your tail thread. I made myself a really long tail thread. I don't know if I needed one quite as long as that. But anyway, I'll just put my needle onto my tail thread just here. And then what we're going to do, so we've thread on 5 seed beads, 1 10mm crystal, and then 1 seed bead. So that's everything we need to do. 5 seed beads, your big crystal, and then one more seed bead. So I'm just threading my needle, and then once I've got it, I'll pop back over, and then we can see what I've been doing. So where are we? Here we go, and back to me. So sound like a magician, and back to me. So first step, we pick up our 5 seed beads. 4, 5. Our one big crystal. So essentially, oh, it's out of focus. Sorry about that. There we go. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. And then finally, one more seed bead. So see that? There's big shadow. 5 seed beads, one big crystal, and then finally one more little seed bead at this end. So essentially what we do now, we slide this down. You have to make sure that your thread's coming out between 2 seed beads. I guess, well, it can't really be anywhere else, can it, when there's only seed beads? So what we do, we slide it all the way down. If you want to make this section longer, just add a couple extra beads, 5, 6, 7, however long it is that you want to make this. You can make it a little shorter, but you need to have at least probably 4. I wouldn't go with less than that. You might have a bit of trouble. So anyway, see this little seed bead just here? We're going to ignore this fellow. He's going to work like a little lock on the top of our crystal. So we thread back down now through the beads that we've just added. We thread through the big crystal, back down, whoops, through that. And then as you can see, wait, let's pick it up a little so you can see it a bit better. So see how I've got that little seed bead sitting on the top now? What we do, we'll come back down and we go through just the first 2 beads only. So this is going to be sort of the little base of the head, and the other will be the top. So if you need to slide it down, hold your little seed bead at the end. Let's get this a bit more central, shall we? Hold your seed bead at the end, slide everything down, and then if you put your fingers over it and pull the thread nice and tight, bing, it locks nicely in place like that. And you can see it's a bit flimsy at the minute, but that's perfectly fine. Let's just get some focus. There we go. So you can see there's the one bead on the top, our big bead, and then we've got 5 beads underneath. I've threaded back through the first 2 beads only, not all 5, just 2. So from here now, we pick up 3 more seed beads. Didn't leave myself enough thread, did I? Here we go. So we'll pick up 1, 2, 3 seed beads. So now that's essentially going to match this other side. So just here we've got 3 seed beads before our 2. So now what we do, we skip 1 bead around the circle and we go down that little bead just there. So skipping 1 on our edge, we'll go down that 1 bead, pull that nice and tight, and then you get this sort of V shape happening. Let's bring that a little closer so you can see what's going on. So let's get that in focus for you. So see how we've got that little V shape underneath the crystal? That's what we're hoping for. So now what we need to do is thread across 2 beads now. So we make sure it's nice and tight. I'll get it in focus just here, shall I? And you can see what I'm doing a bit clearer. There we go. So we thread through that one. And then we need to move across the next few beads. So we need to go up. We'll go down 1 more. If I can get my needle through. There we go. Nope, doesn't want to happen for me. Down there. There we go. Now that's got nice and tight. We'll go up just the first bead. And then across diagonally to our next bead. you just essentially need to weave around so that you're coming out at the one seed bead opposite the V. Oh, I'm out of screen. Sorry about that. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, so we need to make sure we come out of that bead that's directly opposite our V shape. Now, all we do, pick up 3 more seed beads, and we go up these 2 in the center, so that we've got like a little tripod of 3 beads, and through the crystal as well. Pull that nice and tight. Oop, try not to lose my thread there. There we go. And you can see now I've got that lovely little tripod shape at the bottom. So if I pull that nice and tight, what I'm going to do, just to secure it, I'll go through this bead at the top and then back down the big hole of the crystal and the first 2 seed beads. So hopefully you can see all that. Through those beads, pull down, pull down, pull down. Get it nice and firm, get it nice and tight. And there you go. You can see there's a little tripod now of beads at the base of our crystal. So now all I've got to do is just go down through that little edge into this body of my beaded section, and then if you just weave your thread through, tying knots occasionally. So for example, I'll go up this bead just here, tie a little knot just here, and that will start to secure my thread in place. So I'll go behind this little piece of thread with my piece there. If I'd given myself a little bit of extra tail, it would be much easier, but I didn't. So anyway, so through that little loop just there, pull the needle back through it, and you can see it'll form a knot just in here. So pull, 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 nice and tight, and that tightens our thread, and now we can sort of continue along, weaving around and tying knots in the same way, and that sort of finishes off your little piece just there. So tie a few more knots, tie a few more, tie a few more, and then eventually, once your thread, you feel like it's nice and secure and you don't have to worry, you can go back up the legs if you want to one more time, just to make them extra strong, extra secure, nice and tight. And then imagine my chenille stitch is significantly longer down the middle. You would have that in the center, and then this is at one end. And let's put it in focus so we can actually see what I'm showing you. There we go. So you'd have this at one end, and then you'd have your loop at the other end, like that. So that in the end, what you would have is a blue version that looks just like this. So like I said, you can make this much longer if you want to, into a necklace or into like a beaded rope that you can use as curtain ties or whatever it is that you want. But the whole process, it's very, very simple and fun. If in case you didn't know, the pattern is on our website, beadspider.co.uk. It's only £2, so very, very inexpensive, and will teach you the whole process. We do also have a video on YouTube, so if you are a YouTube subscriber, head on over. If you're not a YouTube subscriber, sorry, head on over to our YouTube page and start watching all of these amazing videos that we do, because we have, I think this will be the 86th video on our YouTube channel. And then, like I've said before, if you want to get those Aurora microcrystals, just so that you can really add sparkle and bling to your jewelry, which I'll show you it even on the live piece. See, there you go. Look how sparkly that is. You can never get that with just normal seed beads. So it really, really enhances your jewelry. It looks spectacular. If you're wanting to get a kit, that's on the Bead Spider website. Otherwise, the seed beads on their own, we've got lots and lots of colors of Preciosa size 10s, which they work perfectly, as you can see with our little comparison picture. You've got your faceted ones in the middle, the Preciosas on the left, and then TOHOs and Miyukis on the right. You can see they're all pretty much the same size. It's just the ever so fractional differences in the widths of the beads. That's all that is different, really. And then, of course, if you are wanting to get some microcrystals, they are on sale at the moment, which is the 16th of May 2020. And if you want to get free shipping, which it's going to be available anytime that you order, if you're in the US or Canada, you can make the most of that coupon code on screen just there, the GIVEMEMICROUSA coupon code that we have. Type that in and you'll get free shipping to the US or Canada. Otherwise, if you are in the UK, and you can sign up, become a member on our website, and it's only £10 that you need to be spending, minimum order, and you get free postage as a member on our website. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial today. It seems our friends in Australia, such as Kelly, I guess she'll see this in the morning, she says. But yeah, Eliza, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy your microcrystal beads when you get them. There's 58 colors that we have of the microcrystals, and like I said, they are on sale right now until the 20th of May 2020. But yeah, so the plan for the next couple of videos, we got a good response of people saying that they want to see some beaded clasps. Clasps, they're really versatile. So instead of doing a whole project of a bracelet or a necklace or whatever, I can just show you quite a few different little clasps. Maybe that'll be my fun Wednesday, my go-to Wednesday plan, is to do these little videos with of clasps for a few weeks. But next Saturday, what we're going to be doing is a herringbone stitched with twins. So it'll make like a really lovely sort of rope. If I can get a little picture up, I can show you it, I think. If we just wait a second, hopefully I can find a picture real quickly and I can show that to you on the screen just here, if it's going to behave. But yeah, then you'll see what's coming next week. So it's on our website if you want to get the kit. I'm not sure if the instructions are on sale yet, but if they're not, I'll put them on in the coming day or two. But it's, in terms of our kits, it's called the Little Labyrinth bracelet. We have two different ones which use herringbone stitch and 2-hole beads. So this one, it makes more of like a rat bracelet. Let me just see if I can find a picture. But yeah, it's a fantastic little design that I will show you. But that's essentially what's going to be next weekend's video. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This one's a nice photo. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, this will do. Let's stretch the picture so that you can see it. Here we are, and this is what we'll be making next week. So if you can see that just there, that is the sort of idea of what we'll be making. That's the little herringbone stitch rope, I guess is the best way of what you would call it. That is the project. So if you're going to be watching next Saturday, that's what you'll see. Like I said, if you want to head over to the Bead Spider website and get your microcrystals, they're on sale. There's that discount code, which I'll show you one last time, GIVEMEMICROUSA, which doesn't expire as long as you're spending £30 or more, and it's only on microcrystals, just for weight reasons. For example, if you put into your order just a few pounds worth of hematite beads, because they're really heavy little gemstones, they would definitely, oops, wrong one. They would definitely put the weight much higher, and so we wouldn't be able to do free postage. But if you're getting microcrystals, because they're only light, as many as you want, you'll get free postage as long as you're spending £30 if you're in North America. And then all of our friends in the UK, head on to the website and become a member, because if you're spending over £10 you get free postage. And then definitely become a get onto the newsletter. I'm stumbling on my words there, don't know what's going on. Too much talking, 2 hours of talking. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to seeing pictures, the things that you've made. If you've made along with me and want to post a picture, pop it onto the Bead Spider Facebook page, right on there, and show us what you've made. Obviously you don't have to make it with the micro crystals, as long as you've got two beads that are the same style. So you can do them sort of in the same color family, like what I've done with this little micro crystal one, where it looks like they're all kind of the same color. Or you can do one where the colors, it's not going to focus, oh well, where the colors contrast with each other. So it's a nice fun little design. And then we'll see. I'm not sure if I'll do a video this coming Wednesday. I think I'll start it on the following Wednesday. So I might start doing 2 videos a week, not this week, but starting on the, I guess it'll be the 27th, Wednesday the 27th, if that's a Wednesday. So there'll be, the next video is a week from today, next Saturday. Again, it'll be starting UK time, 1 p.m. We'll be going live, or I will be, most Saturdays coming up. So make sure you jump on if you want to watch on demand or rewind. You missed the beginning of this video, head over to the Bead Spider website. Who's still watching, by the way? Let's say goodbye to some people who are watching, if there's anyone. Teresa, I'm glad you watched. We're in the UK, so even though I've got an Australian accent, we live in, it's a family-run business. We live in the UK, in England at the minute. And so we will, we'll be here. And that's why if you're in the US or Canada, you can get free shipping with that code. And if you're GIVEMEMICROUSA, and if you're in the UK, like we are, we can do free shipping because it's much more affordable if you're spending £10 or more. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Who else have we still got? Winona is still on. Teresa, again, thanks for watching on YouTube. We've still got a few people. Aisha Flores, yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next Saturday, I believe. So have a nice weekend. Enjoy the weather. Hopefully it's not too bad, and keep yourselves safe and entertained and happy. And I will see you all next week. Thanks.